Hey, happy Sunday. How are you today? I was thinking, everybody wants you to think back where we were in the produce business a year ago today. And there's been a lot of changes. A year ago from now, you probably heard me say, I hate packaging. Uh, and you had to make a change because packaging became very, very important during the COVID crisis. I used to hate all those meal kit companies, and I tell you the truth, I actually believe that if it wasn't for the pandemic, 95% of them would be out of business by now. But they became a factor also. So there's a lot of changes. There's a big increase in consumption of produce, and now we have to learn how to keep it. Change is good. I've seen a lot of changes in my 40 years in the produce business, 40 plus years, and that's why I listen to everybody because you have to change with it. I can remember I took a 3 year hiatus from the produce business. I was on Wall Street for 3 years, and when I came back, I could never. My friend Eddie Shaw, God rest his soul now, Paulie, why are you coming back in the business? It's not the same. And I said, Eddie, I think it's going to be better than ever. And I was right. So uh, let's talk about a little bit about I always bash people like especially like retailers for not following. So let me throw out some solutions. And again, I'm not a snowflake. You could disagree with me. We could have a conversation. We have a debate. That's how we learn, right? So, you know, uh, we just went through a really, really high tomato market. I'm going to use tomatoes as an example because there's a lot of contracts on tomatoes. Uh, so let's go back a month, and Roma tomatoes were basically $22 FOB. The contracts probably were anywhere around 12 or $14. So all the retailers, right? Most of them, excuse me, got covered. Excuse me. Most of those ads, those contracts got covered. And believe me, and retailers were happy. The $14, and if they were smart, they probably raised the price a little bit. If not, they just sold. They sold out on their volume. But then, what happens now? Now the Roma tomato market's at the minimum. Now we have a lot of volume. Before, when they were $22 FOB, the volume wasn't there, right? So now we have a lot of volume, and it's at the minimum. And those same retailers are now paying $12 to $14. Okay, so that's why the independents, most of them are not on contract, and that's why if a large regional chain or a national chain is near an independent is going to crush them because they'll go with the supply and demand market. But so now this is what exacerbates the problem. So again, I spoke about this Tuesday. So now we have the market at the minimum. We have the chains that were making plenty of money and couldn't get enough tomatoes for contract when the market was $22 FOB or $20 FOB, and they were 12 to 14. Now they're at the same 12 to 14, but the market's 8. Okay, so any of their competition that's not on contract is gonna ring the bell on them, and that's what's wrong with contract pricing. So what do I think is a solution to that? You could have contracts, but you could have volume contracts. What do I mean with that? Okay, XYZ chain and ABC Pharma, I'm going to take 10 loads a week from you at the market. Or it could be a range of the market. So maybe instead of going to the minimum, maybe it's 10. But when the market goes to 20 or 25 FOB, maybe it's 18. What does that do? Well, it ensures your constant supply, which we all know why you're on contract because you fired all the produce professionals all those years ago, and most of those guys don't know what they're doing, so they have to buy on contract, and they don't know how to follow a market. But so now you have your supply, and you retail them according to that supply. So if the market's at the minimum, or you're paying 10, or you're just going to play the market, you retail them at a cheap price. If the market's hot, guess what? There's not as many as available, and you sell them at a higher price. It makes a lot more sense than what you're doing now. And also, again, you're all doing the same thing. You're all doing the same thing. Maybe one of you want to get out of your box and just try something, I would say try something new, but this is something old. So that's my take on that. Packaging. Packaging, I hate packaging. I think produce looks better naked. So I was never a big package guy, but after the pandemic, nobody wanted people to touch their produce, and so packaging became big thing. For me, looking forward, packaging is going to be a big thing, but sustainable packaging is going to be the biggest thing. So all you people that are doing clamshells and and plastic and everything, I don't think you have legs. I think you have to look for I see so many things, whether it's bamboo or grass or just stuff that is really biodegradable. Because listen, just in case you all don't know this, the recycling thing is a fallacy. Maybe it's 5%, maybe. So and even that, it's only a one-time thing because it degrades it degrades every time. So it's a fallacy. So you got to come up with a better way. And I think something that's actually biodegradable. And there's a lot more products. I see products on LinkedIn all the time. So I'm not well versed in it, but I know there's products out there, and I'm sure they're going to keep coming. And anybody that's the consumer is going to demand it. The people that are much younger than me are definitely going to demand it. So, and people my age are going to demand it too. I want the environment to be better. I don't think, I try to get my kids, please don't drink the plastic water bottles. It's just like, to me, it's, I use SodaStream. I drink out of the same bottle all the time. So that's my thing. So, okay. I have to give you a little sales pitch for me. I give you all this information and you all thank me and everything. If you're a receiver or a grower, all my receivers and growers capitalize on all the information I give. Remember, the information I give you is what I thought about maybe 3 or 4 days prior, and my customers, my growers already had that information, and they're making money off of it. So I always want to help people in the produce business, and if I could make a profit doing it, I would love to help you. So keep that in mind. Any growers, and my wheelhouse vegetables are cucumbers, eggplant, squash, all types of Mexican, California stuff, avocados, mangoes. So that's my wheelhouse. But 40 years ago, I was a Western veg guy. I was a tomato salesman. So I've had a full. Before I was the red pepper king, I was the berry king. I was a berry salesman. That to me was the most fun ever, because that market changes in 15 minutes. Okay, what else are we going to talk about today? You know what? One last thing. You know who hurts you most in this business? This is something that I thought about today also. Stupid people. Smart people in this business don't hurt you. Smart people in this business is just great competition, and you probably help you. Stupid people will hurt you more. Fortunately, stupid people don't last too long. And you know what I'm talking about. I have a guy like, I have a lot of red pepper customers across this country. And usually remember we talked about loyalty last week? Well, I have to tell you, my shippers and my customers are very, very loyal to me. So I have people that always go in, and how are they going to go in against me? They always have to be less. They always have to be less. And my customers say, listen, whether they're 2 or 200, Paulie always gives them to me 52 weeks out of a year. But to try to beat me, you have to be less. And sometimes they do stupid things, like they'll give an ad that I know is not warranted. So a chain store said, Paulie, and say, hey, Paul, Joe Blow's company just told me, red peppers are like 10 and you're 15. Take the ad. I'll tell them, take the ad. But usually 4 days later, that same company's called me back, Paulie, that guy screwed me. He didn't ship me any peppers. And, Paulie takes care of it. But anyway, the good news is, the bad news is there's stupid people in the produce business. The good news is they don't last too long, hopefully. And remember what I always say, if I never met a load I could retire on, so I do business for people for the next 30 years. Okay, so before I get into a little market report, I want to say two people that are very, very dear in my heart. Stephanie Katzman's birthday is on the 21st of January. And David, anybody that loads with me in Nogales, David's in charge of loading all my trucks in our Nogales warehouse. So happy birthday to those two. My birthday is the following week, but we'll save that for next week. Okay, let's talk a little bit about markets. We're going to always start with red peppers. I still feel the same way. Red peppers are extremely short. I think the volume will pick up a little bit this week. The color will come on a little bit. And I go back to, keep on saying it. One box more and this market's coming off significantly. Even being very, very short at the terminal level last week, 15 pounds are $38 to $40, 25 pound choice, $35 to $45. They didn't sell out. Extremely short, didn't sell out. That is not a good sign, all right? Fortunately, there wasn't too many. But again, one box more than what you need, this market's coming off. And I think it's coming next week, which also coincides with, I always say, right around the 15th, that's when the market comes off. So we're here, and I think I'm going to be right on the target about that. Roma tomatoes are at the minimum. All I can say, if you want Roma tomatoes now, and then you're going to need them again when they're $22 FOB, give me a call. I don't have to make money on you now. I'll charge you the minimum, but remember, you get them when they're hot, you take them when they're not. Well, they're not, and if you want them when they're hot, give me a call. And that's green peppers. That market slipped a little. Squash. Green squash, yellow squash, we're in all of a sudden that volume just fell off. And I tell you the truth, I feel like, I'm not saying they're not going to work. I just don't feel good about any markets that are going to be extremely high. I think at the terminal level, green squash, yellow squash will be in the $25 to $28 range. At the terminal level, they started out the week at $12 FOB, and they were as high as 18 and short. I think 16 was pretty much the right price at the end of the week, but I just feel that way. I just don't think the economy, if something is high, I think it gets to that point and then it comes off again when there's one box more. Eggplants cold in Florida. Turned around like a dime on a dime in Nogales, and they were actually hard to find at the end of the week. So I think the eggplant market should be good. I think at the terminal level it could be $18 to $20. Excuse me. I don't know what. Probably plantains. I got to tell you something. I ate Italian food my whole life. I love Colombia. For my wife's, my wife's Colombian. Anybody knows what cucayo is? Cucayo is the burnt rice on the bottom of the pan. I love cucayo. Plantains. Oh my God, there's so many things I like. But anyway, I'm sorry. Eggplant market I think is going to be very, very good. Hard squash, kabocha is still a hot thing, especially the big ones. $14.95 FOB. Few around. The other sizes are available and less money, and also you can get them out of the South for a lot less money, so and a lot less freight. Cucumbers, same deal. I mean, they're up a little bit, but really they're moving well. That's on the good side. They're moving well, but they're still $8 to $12 FOB, and believe me, you buy really, really good supers for $8.95 FOB, and the better brands for 10, but believe me, there's really no difference between what you perceive as a better brand. Then, I have this thing. It's not what's on the box, it's what's in the box. That's the way I buy. I'm a value buyer. If what's perceived to be the best label and brand, and I look at somebody else's cukes, it's brand X cukes, and they're better, that's the brand I'm buying, because again, it's what's in the box, not what's on the box. I think we nailed it all this week. So let's have a conversation because I think that's how we all get smarter. All right. I love you. Love the produce business. Take care of yourself. Oh, happy Martin Luther King Day. We could use some of his love right now. Let's all try to heal the country because I don't like what's going on. We're all Americans first. You know what I mean? Let's. We agree on more than we disagree, and politics shouldn't be getting in the way of friends. That's all I have to say about that. See you. Maybe we'll have another matinee on Tuesday, and until then, take care. Bye.